listening to the Audio Description Narrators of America Know Your Narrator series.
Today, we're very happy to have Stuart Williams with us. He's an actor and a voiceover artist. Thanks for joining us, Stuart.
Thank you, Roy. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
Let's ask you what you love about audio description.
I love that it gives me a chance to serve a community, to serve the blind and low vision community, to offer up a service and give back to what is essentially a minority community. I think so often with commercial and industrial voiceover, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but when you're doing these big pharma spots or what have you, you feel a little bit as though you're a cog in the machine. So this is a way to provide a service, to give back and really feel proud of the work that I'm doing in this realm.
You talk about other aspects of voiceover, and even as an actor, can you share some of your experiences and maybe even training, if it's relevant, to that kind of performance and how it might relate to audio description narration or maybe not relate to it?
I think at the end of the day, it's all about storytelling. I think that's why a lot of us become actors in the first place. Maybe we feel more at home in other people's skin sometimes than our own, so we have this great desire to tell other people's stories, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I mean, my mum has said since I was a kid that I've always loved the sound of my own voice, which I hope isn't isn't too telling. But no, I underwent training as an actor. Well, actually, a musical theatre actor. Between you and I. And my vocal training was Linklater based. My professors were my voice teachers, if you will. Voice and speech teachers were some of the most influential in my training. And I carry that work with me to this day, I would say.
And it sounds like that voice training has a direct impact on the audio description, specifically when it comes to reading a script. I'm assuming that you read a script for audio description narration?
Yes. Generally, it's generally cold reading too. So that, I mean, I'm grateful that I don't stumble too much as I go along. And if I do, obviously I'm working with very talented engineers who can cover up a lot of my missteps.
And it sounds like, in comparison to that cog in the machine, when you were using some other examples, that this sounds like a collaboration. Can you talk about some of the relationships you have as an audio description voice talent, whether it's the engineer or anyone else?
I think you just have to, in any realm in life, you have to trust the people who have your back. No one is an island. No one is a rock. Everything is collaborative, or at least it should be, or at least in every successful instance it tends to be. So I trust the team that I work with. I know you've had Eric Wickstrom and Liz Gutman on from IDC also, with whom I do most of my audio description work. But they have fantastic writers there and fantastic engineers. So we all want to put forth the best product. So I bring my part, my slice of pie, and they all bring theirs, and I trust them implicitly. So
when you think about the experiences doing the work, the cold reading of audio description, is there any example that you might be able to share of maybe a scene you did, or maybe an overall approach as a voice talent that maybe you found initially challenging and you're really proud of how you overcame that challenge?
I will say I've had the great fortune and at the same time the great challenge of working on a few things such as The Witcher and The Dark Crystal that are set in galaxies, times far, far away. There's a lexicon that doesn't come naturally. So taking the time to approach the like 6 Cintran soldiers slaughter 9 Nilfgaardian knights, words that you that's never going to come out cold. So I tend to focus on that at first, and there's always great references and guides, but that has been a challenge that's very specific to the pieces that some of the pieces that I've done in the past. But yeah, sometimes it can be quite a tongue twister when you're dealing with, same goes with television actors dealing with medical jargon, or especially, yeah, and especially in science fiction, we're often dealing with inventions that don't exist, technology that doesn't exist, galaxies that may or may not exist. So just being prepared to have that dexterity of the mouth, I suppose.
Sure, and that kind of leads into how your audio description performance as cold reading, as you do these projects, how has that audio description narration influenced your other acting or voice acting, if at all?
I think in a way it all goes hand in hand in that you are, as an actor, you're living moment to moment. So I have to basically have my eyes half a beat ahead of my brain and then be filtering it with picture, with tone, with mood, with emotional state, all kind of within this split second firing of synapses that sometimes you stumble, sometimes you present something and there's been a dramatic shift in tone that you didn't quite catch. So then your mouth is playing, you downgrade really quickly or whatever the case may be. But no, I think in that way, same with acting, same with cold voice reading, you just have to keep on your toes and take every moment as it's presented to you and react based on the information that you're given.
Very cool. And as you started this interview saying how important it is to you to serve the community of audio description audiences, if you were to think about where you'd love audio description to go, like in your dream world, what would you say?
I think that it should just keep expanding exponentially. There's such a back catalog. Think of all the classics, think of everything that's been set to film since the 20s and 30s. And these are stories that maybe they're so prolific by now that there's a wide audience that knows those tales, but to live them in the moment, along with the soundtrack, along with the dialogue, would be a different experience entirely, and one that I think everyone deserves to have. I think ultimately, and I won't get political, I promise, but I think we're learning more rapidly than ever that inclusivity is the name of the game, and everyone deserves equal footing. Everyone deserves the same jumping off point. Everyone deserves a place at the table. So to be able to share these stories with a community that may or may not have been privy to them up until now is the end goal. So there's definitely stories yet to be told, as well as many stories past that we need to fill out with audio description.
Anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I will say that in this particular time that we're living through, there have been stumbling blocks as far as keeping up with the technology and doing things from home. Everyone is in the same boat at the moment. So I just want to say that for anyone who's finding their footing, just keep at it. And again, it comes back to community. So we've all got each other's back. We have to.
How can people reach you?
My actor website is stuartwilliams.info. It's STUART Williams.info. Also, I'm on social media, not specifically for my voice work, but my Instagram handle is StuartDW919. That follows all of my adventures, acting, voice, and otherwise. Yeah, that's it. And then an exciting project coming up, if I may, and it's very much in the same realm. Dear friend and very talented writer Steve Wargo is coming up with an audio theater platform called Resounding, and he's luckily some Orson Welles radio plays have come into the public domain of late. So we're hoping to present a few in the months ahead. There's an adaptation of the adaptation for Dracula and Treasure Island, and then closer to Christmas, Nutcracker. But hopefully these will appeal to the same audiences. We're hoping to make it sort of a night out at home, given the the pandemic, and we've all been on the lookout for any entertainment we can find over this time. So there's more to come. Have heart.
Very exciting. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Roy. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.